I was
When I
27
was
years
27
old,
years
I left a
old,
very
I left
demanding
a
job
very
in
demanding
management
job in
consulting
management
for a
consulting
job that was
for a
even
job
more
that was
demanding,
even more demanding,
teaching. I went to teach
I
7th
went to
graders
7th grade
math in
math
the New York
in
City
the New
public
York
schools.
City public
And like
school.
any teacher,
And
I
like
made
any
quizzes and
teacher, I made
tests, I
quiz
gave
and
out homework
tests, and gave
assignments.
homework
When the work came
assignments.
back,
When the
I
work came
calculated
back, I
grades.
calculated grades.
What struck me
What struck
was
me
that IQ
was that
was not
IQ
the
was
only
not the
difference
only
between my
difference
best
between my
and
best
my worst
and my worst
students.
student.
Some of my
Some
strongest
of my strongest
performers did
performers
not have
did not have
stratospheric IQ scores.
stratificatory
Some of my
IQ
smartest kids
score. Some modest
weren't doing
kids
so well. And that
did
got me
not doing
thinking.
so well.
The kinds of things you
The
need to
kinds of
learn in
things you need
7th
to
grade
learn
math,
in 7th grade
sure,
math.
they're hard.
Sure, it's
Ratios,
hard.
decimals, the area of a
the area
parallelogram.
of
But
parallelogram.
these concepts are
And
not
this
impossible.
concept was not
And I was
impossible,
firmly
and it was
convinced that every
firmly
one of
convinced
my
that
students
every of my
could
students
learn
could
the material
learn the
if they
material
worked hard and long
if
enough.
they work hard and long
After
enough.
several more years
After
of
several
teaching,
more years of teaching,
I came to the
I came
conclusion
to
that what we
conclusion
need
that
in
what we need
education
in
is a much
education
better
is much
understanding of
better
students and
understanding
learning
of student
from a
and learning
motivational
from a
perspective, from a
motivational
psychological
from
perspective.
psychological perspective.
In education,
In
the one
education, the one
we
thing
know how to
we
measure
know how
best
to measure
is
best
IQ.
is IQ.
But what if
But
doing
what
well in
is
school
doing well in
and in
school
life
and in life
depends on
depends on much more
than your ability to
than
learn
your ability
quickly
to learn
and
quickly
easily.
and easily.
So I left the
So I
classroom
left the classroom
and I went to graduate
and I
school
went
to
to
become a
graduate school to
psychologist.
become a
I started studying
psychologist.
kids
I
and
studied
adults in
kids and
all kinds of
adults on
super
kinds of
challenging
super
settings.
challenging
And in every study, my
settings. And
question
every
was,
study, my
who is
question
successful
was,
here
who
and
is
why?
successful here and why?
My research team and
My
I went
research
to
team and I
West
went
Point
to West
Military
Point
Academy.
Military
We
Academy.
tried to predict
We tried
which
to
cadets
predict
would
which
stay
cadets
in
would
military
stay,
training and which would drop out.
which would drop out.
We went to the
We
National
went to the
Spelling Bee
National Spelling
and tried to
Bee.
predict which
Tried
children
to which
would
student
advance
would
farthest in
advance farthest
competition.
in competition.
We studied rookie
We studied
teachers
rookie
working in really
teachers
tough
working in
neighborhoods,
tough neighborhoods,
asking which
asking
teachers are still
which
going to be
teacher
here in teaching
is
by the end of the school
going
year.
to be here
And
in the
of
school
those,
year, and
who will
on
be the most
those
effective
who most
at
effective
improving learning
in
outcomes for their
improving
students?
outcomes for the
We
students.
partnered with private companies asking which of these salespeople is going to keep their jobs?
Keep their
And who's
job?
going to earn the most money?
Who gonna earn the
In all
most
those very
money?
different contexts, one characteristic
One
emerged
characteristic
as a
emerged
significant
as a
predictor of
significant
success.
predictor for
And
success.
it wasn't social
It
intelligence,
wasn't social
it wasn't good
intelligence.
looks,
It wasn't good
physical
look,
health,
physical
and
health,
it wasn't
and
IQ.
it wasn't IQ.
It was grit.
It was grit.
Grit is
Grit
passion,
is passion
and perseverance for very long-term
with
goals.
very long-term goals.
Grit is having
Grit
stamina.
is having stamina.
Grit is sticking
Grit
with
is
your
sticking
future.
with your future.
Day in, day out. Not just for the week.
Not just for the week.
Not just for the
not
month.
just for the month.
But for years.
But for years.
And working
And
really
working
hard
really
to
hard
make that future a reality.
reality.
Grit is living
Grit
life
is
like
living
it's a
life
marathon,
like it's
not a
marathon,
sprint.
not a sprint.
A few years ago, I started studying grit in the Chicago public schools. I asked thousands of high school juniors to take grit questionnaires, and then waited around more than a year to see who would graduate. Turns out that grittier kids were significantly more likely to graduate. Even when I matched them on every characteristic I could measure, things like family income, standardized achievement test scores, even how safe kids felt when they were at school. So it's not just at West Point or the National Spelling Bee that grit matters. It's also in school, especially for kids at risk for dropping out. To me, the most shocking thing about grit is how little we know, how little science knows about building it. Every day, parents and teachers ask me, how do I build grit in kids? What do I do to teach kids a solid work ethic? How do I keep them motivated for the long run? The honest answer is, I don't know. What I do know is that talent doesn't make you gritty. Our data show very clearly that there are many talented individuals who simply do not follow through on their commitments. In fact, in our data, grit is usually unrelated or even inversely related to measures of talent.
measure of talent.
So far, the best idea I've heard about building grit in kids is something called growth mindset. This is an idea developed at Stanford University by Carol Dweck, and it is the belief that the ability to learn is not fixed, that it can change with your effort. Dr. Dweck has shown that when kids read and learn about the brain, and how it changes and grows in response to challenge, they're much more likely to persevere when they fail because they don't believe that failure is a permanent condition. So growth mindset is a great idea for building grit, but we need more. And that's where I'm going to end my remarks, because that's where we are. That's the work that stands before us. We need to take our best ideas, our strongest intuitions, and we need to test them. We need to measure whether we've been successful, and we have to be willing to fail, to be wrong, to start over again with lessons learned. In other words, we need to be gritty about getting our kids to get grittier.
Thank you.
When I was 27 years old, I left a very demanding job in management consulting. For a job that was even more demanding, teaching. I went to teach seventh graders math in the New York City public school. And like any teacher, I made quizzes and tests, I gave out homework assignments. When the work came back, I calculated grades. What struck me was that IQ was not the only difference between my best and my worst students. Some of my strongest performers did not have stratospheric IQ scores.
Good IQ
Some of my smartest kids weren't doing so well. And that got me thinking. The kinds of things you need to learn in 7th grade math, sure, they're hard. Ratios, decimals, the area of a parallelogram. But these concepts are not impossible. And I was firmly convinced that every one of my students could learn material if they worked hard and long enough. After several more years of teaching, I came to the conclusion that what we need in education is a much better understanding of students and learning from a motivational perspective, from a psychological perspective. In education, the one thing we know how to measure best is IQ. But what if doing well in school and in life depends on much more than your ability to learn quickly and easily? So I left the classroom, and I went to graduate school to become a psychologist. I started studying kids and adults in all kinds of super challenging settings. And in every study, my question was, who is successful here and why? My research team and I went to West Point Military Academy. We tried to predict which cadets would stay in military training and which would drop out. We went to the National Spelling Bee and tried to predict which children would advance farthest in competition. We studied rookie teachers working in really tough neighborhoods, asking which teachers are still going to be here in teaching by the end of the school year. And of those, who will be the most effective at improving learning outcomes for their students? We partnered with private companies asking, which of these salespeople is going to keep their jobs? Who's going to earn the most money? In all those very different contexts, one characteristic emerged as a significant predictor of success. And it wasn't social intelligence. It wasn't good looks. Physical health. And it wasn't IQ. It was grit. Grit is passion and perseverance for very long-term goals. Grit is having stamina. Grit is sticking with your future. Day in, day out. Not just for the week. Not just for the month. But for years. And working really hard to make that future a reality. Grit is living life like it's a marathon, not a sprint. A few years ago, I started studying grit in the Chicago public schools. I asked thousands of high school juniors to take grit questionnaires.
questionnaires.
And then waited around more than a year to see who would graduate.
To see who would
Turns
graduate.
out that grittier kids were significantly more likely to graduate. Even when I matched them on every characteristic I could measure. Things like family income, standardized achievement test scores, even how safe kids felt when they were at school. So it's not just at West Point or the National Spelling Bee that grit matters. It's also in school, especially for kids at risk
of dropping out.
To me, the most shocking thing about grit is how little we know, how little science knows about building it. Every day, parents and teachers ask me, how do I build grit in kids? What do I do to teach kids a solid work ethic? How do I keep them motivated for a long run? The honest answer is, I don't know. What I do know is that talent doesn't make you gritty. Our data show very clearly that there are many talented individuals who simply do not follow through on their commitments. In fact, in our data, grit is usually unrelated or even inversely related to talent. So far, the best idea I've heard about building grit in kids is something called growth mindset. This is an idea developed at Stanford University by Carol Dweck, and it is the belief that the ability to learn is not fixed, that it can change with your effort. Dr. Dweck has shown that when kids read and learn about the brain and how it changes and grows in response to challenge, they're much more likely to persevere when they fail because they don't believe that failure is a permanent condition. So growth mindset is a great idea for building grit, but we need more. And that's where I'm going to end my remarks, because that's where we are. That's the work that stands before us. We need to take our best ideas, our strongest intuitions, and we need to test them. We need to measure whether we've been successful, and we have to be willing to fail, to be wrong, to start over again with lessons learned. In other words, we need to be gritty about getting our kids grittier. Thank you. When I was 27 years old, I left a very demanding job in management consulting for a job that was even more demanding, teaching. I went to teach 7th graders math in the New York City public schools. And like any teacher, I made quizzes and tests, I gave out homework assignments. When the work came back, I calculated grades. What struck me was that IQ was not the only difference between my best and my worst students. Some of my strongest performers did not have stratospheric IQ scores. Some of my smartest kids aren't doing so well. And that got me thinking. The kinds of things you need to learn in 7th grade math, sure, they're hard. Ratios, decimals, the area of a parallelogram. But these concepts are not impossible. And I was firmly convinced that every one of my students could learn material if they worked hard and long enough. After several more years of teaching, I came to the conclusion that what we need in education is a much better understanding of students and learning from a motivational perspective, from a psychological perspective. In education, the one thing we know how to measure best is IQ. But what if doing well in school and in life depends on much more than your ability to learn quickly and easily? So I left the classroom, and I went to graduate school to become a psychologist. I started studying kids and adults in all kinds of super challenging and in every study, my question was, who is successful here and why? My research team and I went to West Point Military Academy. We tried to predict which cadets would stay in military training and which would drop out. We went to the National Spelling Bee and tried to predict which children children would advance farthest in competition. We studied rookie teachers working in really tough neighborhoods, asking which teachers are still going to be here in teaching by the end of the school year. And of those, who will be the most effective at improving learning outcomes for their students. We partnered with private companies asking which of these salespeople is going to keep their jobs, who's going to earn the most money. In all those very different contexts, one characteristic emerged as a significant predictor of success. And it wasn't social intelligence. It wasn't good looks, physical health, and it wasn't IQ. It was grit. Grit is passion and perseverance for very long-term goals. Grit is having stamina. Grit is sticking with your future. Day in, day out. Not just for the week, not just for the month, but for years. And working really hard to make that future a reality. Grit is living life like it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. A few years ago, I started studying grit in the Chicago Public Schools. I asked thousands of high school juniors to take grit questionnaires, and then waited around more than a year to see who would graduate. Turns out that grittier kids were significantly more likely to graduate, even when I matched them on every characteristic I could measure. Things like family income, standardized achievement test scores, even how safe kids felt when they were at school. So it's not just at West Point or the National Spelling Bee that grit matters. It's also in school, especially for kids at risk of dropping out. To me, the most shocking thing about grit is how little we know, how little science knows about building it. Every day, parents and teachers ask me, how do I build grit in kids? What do I do to teach kids a solid work ethic? How do I keep them motivated for the long run? The honest answer is, I don't know. What I do know is that talent doesn't make you gritty. Our data show very clearly that there are many talented individuals who simply do not follow through on their commitments. In fact, in our data, grit is usually unrelated or even inversely related to measures of talent. So far, the best idea I've heard about building grit in kids is something called growth mindset. This is an idea developed at Stanford University by Carol Dweck, and it is the belief that the ability to learn is not fixed, that it can change with your effort. Dr. Dweck has shown that when kids read and learn about the brain and how it changes and grows in response to challenge, they're much more likely to persevere when they fail because they don't believe that failure is a permanent condition. So growth mindset is a great idea for building grit, but we need more. And that's where I'm going to end my remarks, because that's where we are. That's the work that stands before us. We need to take our best ideas, our strongest intuitions, and we need to test them. We need to measure whether we have been successful, and we have to be willing to fail, to be wrong, to start over again with lessons learned. With lesson learned. In other words, we need to be gritty about getting our kids grittier. Thank you.